Next up, it is race 4 for the British Truck Racing Championship. The grid based on the second race yesterday with the top 8 reverse. That means that Michael Oliver, who was penalised to 8th in race 2 yesterday, got a 30-second penalty for repeated track limits breaches in lieu of a drive-through, will be on the pole for our next race. But there'll be a few slightly graunched machines, I would think, for this one. A lot of bodywork damage in the previous race. Michael Oliver lines up alongside Neil Yates in number 33. Second row, Stephen Powell in the 3, and David Smith, what a drive earlier on for second place in the number 11. Row 3 is Tom O'Rourke alongside John Bowler, David Jenkins, and yesterday's second race winner Stuart Oliver on the 4th row. Then we've got our first 2 Division 2 trucks. John Powell on row 5 alongside number 41 Simon Cole. In the 6th row will be number 40 Archie Handy, and Ryan Smith, who missed that second race yesterday while replacing his engine, will go from the back of the grid. So he's got to come through all over again. He won earlier on from the back by about 20 seconds. Can he do it again? Paul Rivette is on the grid sheet for this one. We know he won't be starting after his engine let go yesterday. So the trucks are in the assembly area, you can see there, behind our pace truck. It's going to be effectively half a rolling lap with the length of the circuit here at Snetterton. We can see there the recovery trucks as well, the RB DAF and the ITO pickup truck, which can help with lighter towing duties. Just waiting for the last couple of trucks to come into the assembly area. I can see David Jenkins on the move down there. It'll be a 15-minute race, the last race before our lunch break. One of our comments, could this finally be a race where Ryan doesn't win? Well, he didn't win yesterday because his engine went in the first race and he missed the second. Mega King says Flying Ryan going to do it again from the back. I reckon he is, you know. Saw how quick he was in the earlier race. He broke the lap record in qualifying yesterday on his way to taking the pole position. It was with a 2:22.563 average of nearly 75 miles an hour around the Snetterton 300 circuit. It is 40 years of British truck racing this year. The first event took place back in November 1984, the Truck Super Prix at Donington Park. Back then they were road-going trucks with a few celebrity guests involved. Barry Sheen, the bike legend, was there. Martin Brundle had a go. The Grimer brothers of hot rod racing fame. It was Tullio Gislotti of Italy who won that first race at Donington, which had one of the biggest crowds that Donington had ever known as well. And the rest, as they say, is history. The championship soon evolved from a British championship into a European championship, where we had the likes of Kurt Göransson, Mr. Sideways from Sweden, Hans van der Marwitz, Gerd Kurber, Richard Walker, the British hero. Still occasionally appears in cars with his son Jack Walker-Tully in historic racing these days. Steve Parish, another convert from the world of motorcycle racing, was a European champion. Slim Borgard, of course, who sadly passed away fairly recently, the great Swede, the former drummer turned racer. Competed in Formula One briefly as well. It was in trucks where he found his greatest success. Jokke Kallio, the ex-rallycross racing Finn. And many more great names besides. These days, Norbert Kiss of Hungary is the top name in European racing. And of course, in the last few years, the British Championship, it has been Ryan Smith all the way. Previously, David Jenkins, Stuart Oliver, Matt Summerfield were British Division 1 champions. Division 2, we've seen the likes of The Reed brothers, Simon and Craig, are later moved up to Division 1. They're racing on the continent this year, as is John Newell, the Yorkshireman. Jamie Anderson as well, the former rally driver. Big Ben says, come on Team Oliver. They've had a fair bit of repair work to do this weekend. 2 wins yesterday. Mega King also says, will the third race, being the last for this weekend, get messy? I think it already has in the race we had earlier on, unfortunately. They've done well to repair some of the bodywork on these trucks for this race. Big thanks to our volunteer marshals, as always. Couldn't go racing without the Orange family. Staying fairly well back off their posts for this one. Of course, they have to be moved back for reasons of safety. Hi to Adam Richmond. He's supporting the Greenhouse Group DAF. The DAF out there, that's John Powell, our Division 2 dominator this weekend, number 6. Where's he starting on the grid for this one? He's on row 5. Craig says, can't wait to see the trucks at Le Mans. Yep, they're going to France to the Le Mans Bugatti circuit in a couple of weeks' time before the season finale in November on Bonfire Weekend at Brands Hatch. Sam Morse, he's supporting Cole Truck Sport. That's Archie Handy and Simon Cole in Division 2. As some of our marshals, you can see, have moved a little further back off their posts to a position of safety. If you'd like to become a marshal, get closer to the action, just have a look online for the British Motorsport Marshals Club or on the BARC website, barc.net, for all the news from the British Automobile Racing Club. You can find out how to join the Orange family on there. You can attend a taster day at events around the UK where you can find out everything about being a motorsport official. Hi to Stefano Spinello from Arizona, USA. Nice to see a few American viewers this weekend. Hi to Oscar, watching from Spain. And hi to Mark Reeves, says good luck to Simon Cole and Archie Handy. So here come the trucks then. Race number 4 for the big rigs. Taking a look to make sure everybody is there after a rather rough race earlier on. Yes, there's Stuart Oliver. The Oliver team have been able to repair. There's John Powell, Simon Cole and Archie Handy. Our 3 Division 2 trucks are all there. And there's Ryan Smith at the back. He's got to come through the field once again. So I think all 12 of them are there. Of course, we won't see Paul Rivette. He's out for the weekend after engine damage yesterday. And he may have to miss the trip to Le Mans as well. So his hopes of the Division 2 title are sadly over. It's between John Powell and Simon Cole there now. Michael Oliver on pole position. Then Neil Yates and Stephen Powell, the 2 white and red MANs, based virtually next door to Brands Hatch, the Neil Yates recovery team. It's David Jenkins, Tom O'Rourke. And a gap back to John Bowler. They'll close up, ready for the rolling start. There's Tom O'Rourke in the bonneted 86 truck, the International Navistar. Another name we've not seen in the British Championship this year is the heavy haulage boss from Yorkshire, Ricky Collett. He's been racing in Europe. Saw him out at the Convoy in the Park meeting at Donington in the non-championship races, won by Jamie Anderson. As the crowd settles in for another 15 minutes of the British Truck Racing Championship. About to get underway then. Go back to your comments after this race because we are about ready to rumble. Fair play to Team Oliver for repairing the front end damage to Stewart's truck after he hit the back of David Smith in the previous race. There's Simon Cole, the points leader in Division 2. Without even winning a race so far this season, but John Powell's closing that gap slowly but surely all the time. Ryan Smith in position at the back. Watch for him launching down the outside, I would suspect, at the start. It's Michael Oliver, a winner yesterday. Neil Yates alongside him, looking for his first Division 1 podium alongside him. Around 12,000 horsepower about to be unleashed here at Snetterton. 60 tons of race truck on the grid. Pace truck pulls into pit lane. The red lights are on the gantry. It's keeping their formation, keeping it steady. Ryan Smith looking for a gap to come through already. Here we go, the revs are up. And off they go. Down towards that first corner at Riches. Who's going to get the whole shot? It's Michael Oliver. Great start by Stephen Powell. Goes past his teammate up into second place. It looks like it's David Smith in fourth place. Just kicking up a bit of dust on the inside. Ryan Smith's already got past about 5 trucks, so he got exactly the start he wanted. Up the inside, Stephen Powell has a look. John Bowler diving down the outside in the number 14. He's up to 4th. David Jenkins taking the outside run as well. Ryan Smith finds his way boxed by Stuart Oliver. They're all round the first couple of corners okay. There's Archie Handy in the ex-Paul McCumsky Volvo at the back. But it's Michael Oliver looking for his second win of the weekend. The Northumberland driver leads the way. Powell, Yates, then Bowler, David Smith, the top 5. Already up into about 7th place is Flying Ryan. Stuart Oliver blocking his progress at the moment, and Ryan Smith ahead of his championship rival David Jenkins as well. Bit of a lock-up there from David Smith. Saw he was having 1 or 2 braking issues earlier on. Tom O'Rourke didn't get the start he wanted. He's dropped back in the number 86 as they head through the infield loop for the first time. A spectacular sight they make here in the Norfolk countryside. Neil Yates under fire from John Bowler, then it's David Smith. That's the battle for 3rd place. The first 2 able to get away slightly, Michael Oliver and Stephen Powell. I still remember a couple of years ago when Stephen Powell, the former Division 2 champion, took his first ever Division 1 win and celebrated like he just won the European Championship. There's Tom O'Rourke in the International, chasing Simon Cole, so he didn't get a great start, sadly. Michael Oliver from Stephen Powell. Here comes John Bowler attacking Neil Yates for 3rd place. David Smith is 5th, Stuart Oliver 6th, and Ryan Smith got a flying start, but only able to get up to 7th so far. Give it time though. David Jenkins behind him. Incredible to think that those 3 drivers together there have 19 titles between them, and 21 if you count the 2 won by David Smith in Division 2, who's just ahead of them. 4 drivers with 21 British championships, an incredible statistic. Stephen Powell, a former Division 2 champion as well. John Bowler trying to go around the outside of Neil Yates, trying to get the inside run for Riches, I think, down the straights. Michael Oliver from Stephen Powell across the line. Then a gap of about 3.5 seconds back to Yates, who wants his first podium in Division 1. Got shuffled wide in the closing stages in race 3 earlier on. Stuart Oliver still holding off Ryan Smith. He wants to keep his record of 10 titles. We know Ryan wants to match and possibly beat it. Neil Yates in 3rd place. Traffic starting to build up. There's David Jenkins trying to get around Smith. Then a gap back to John Powell. There he is, leading Division 2 in the DAF. That's the Greenhouse Group truck. Michael Oliver continues to lead, and somebody onto the grass there further back. That was David Smith, and Ryan Smith's been forced onto the grass as they tried to avoid him. Oh, that was a bit dicey, but it's given Ryan Smith the inside look into Agostini, and he's going to take David Smith as well. Opportunist move there by Flying Ryan. He got forced onto the grass as others took avoiding action when David Smith came back on, I think, after he'd run wide. Well, Neil Yates is still in 3rd place after that little schmozzle. 4th place is John Bowler. Ryan Smith has gained 2 places. He's 5th ahead of David Smith, 7th Stuart Oliver. David Jenkins still stuck at the back of this queue in 8th position. Here comes Flying Ryan. His next target is John Bowler. And his target is Neil Yates. Here they come. This is the 3rd place fight. John Bowler covering from Flying Ryan. He knows he's a bit quicker in a straight line. He can't get the line away there for Brundle and Nelson. David Smith is next in the number 11. First ever Division 1 podium for him with 2nd place in this morning's race. They rumble their way towards Coram. Michael Oliver continues to lead, looking for win number 2 this weekend. Stephen Powell shadowing him in the Neil Yates Recovery and HGV Direct sponsored MAN. It's MAN's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment. Was at the end of the previous lap. Now Ryan Smith moving the Daimler Freightliner up to 5th, and it could be 4th here as he goes to the inside of John Bowler. Just about got the place away there as they head down towards Riches. Yes, he's through up into P4. 3 places gained on that previous lap for Ryan Smith. Then his next target is Neil Yates. John Bowler fighting back. He loves to try the outside line, going down into the hairpin. Neil Yates holds off Ryan Smith. This is allowing David Smith to close up a little. A little bit sideways there. That nearly caught out Ryan Smith as Neil Yates got the tail out. Ryan goes to the outside at Palmer. Trying to do a Matt Simpson here around the outside of Dale Gent earlier on. This time Neil Yates is the target though, and I think he's got ahead. Yes, he has. So now up into 3rd position. Relegates Neil Yates off the podium. Bowler next as Stuart Oliver continues to battle it out with David Smith and David Jenkins. A quiet race for the Digraph Transport MAN. Tom O'Rourke has pulled into the pits, I can tell you. I thought he had a problem after that slow start. So he's out of the race. So we're down to 11 running. John Powell still leads Division 2. Just under 4 seconds clear of Simon Cole. As kicking up the dust there, Neil Yates, bit wide out of Agostini. Chased by John Bowler, the man from Stockport in the number 14. Just 1 Division 1 win in his career at Thruxton last year. Michael Oliver leads. He's got the fastest lap of the race, 2:25.857. Stephen Powell just shadowing his every move at the front. They're well clear of Neil Yates and company in 3rd place. Ryan Smith up to 3rd now, so we'll start to see the gap come down, I would think. Past the GT Tyres trailer parked on the outside there. There goes Smith. Tom O'Rourke, I think, has rejoined from the pits, so maybe the problem has been rectified. This is the battle for 4th position. Neil Yates still under fire from John Bowler, David Smith, Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins. The lead gap has come down just over half a second. Stephen Powell just did, well, he briefly had the fastest lap of the race. Ryan Smith's just eclipsed it. He's done a 2:25.323. Powell did a 2:25.579. Neil Yates looking for his best result of the season. Just learning his way into truck racing, made his debut last year. And a good weekend for David Smith as well, the Division 2 champion over 10 years ago now. He's being chased by Stuart Oliver, missing the front bodywork off his truck, the MAN that was built by the team to replace the Volvo VNL after his crash at Thruxton earlier this year in qualifying. So resulted in the qualifying session at Thruxton being abandoned, and they lined up in championship order as John Bowler lunges at Neil Yates. Can he get alongside here on the run up towards Hamilton? No, he can't. See, they're bottled up behind Neil Yates now. Here comes David Smith. He's got a chunk missing from the front of his MAN as well. Archie Handy there in the background. He's in 11th place, third in Division 2. Rumble of these huge engines as they head into the Bentley Straights. These engines 12 and 13 litres in size, all turbocharged. Still Neil Yates holding on to that 4th place with John Bowler on his tail. Michael Oliver still leading Stephen Powell, Ryan Smith closing them down. Closest battle is here for 4th. Here are the leaders, and now Stephen Powell has caught our race leader. Now, it was on the last lap here at Murray's in race 1 yesterday that Michael Oliver stole down the inside of Stephen Powell and pinched the win. I think Stephen Powell's got revenge in mind. There's just over 5 minutes to go, but they need to be mindful that Flying Ryan's closing up on them. There he is. Over the line they come. Another fastest lap for Ryan Smith, and he's halved the deficit, just over 3 seconds behind now, Stephen Powell. Powell concentrating on attacking Michael Oliver for the lead in this 4th race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. He's going to have a look down the inside. No, he's not. Nearly contact between the two of them. I thought he was going to clip the back of Michael Oliver there. Smith's closing on them. Now, where's Powell going to make his move? Is he going to do a Matt Simpson / Ryan Smith and go down the outside of Palmer? No, he's not. The 12 of Michael Oliver, the Northumberland driver, holds him off. Famous for his flamboyant celebrations, Michael Oliver, when he takes the win. But I think he might be about to lose his lead because Powell's up the inside into Agostini under braking. He goes through. Can he turn it back here on the exits? Yes, Stephen Powell takes the lead. They're coming up to lap Tom O'Rourke after he rejoined a couple of laps down from the pits. He moves aside, lets them through. And now Ryan Smith is right on the 2 leaders. Here comes the Dayglow yellow Daimler Freightliner. Stephen Powell leads, the number 3, the man from down in Kent. Ryan Smith from Nottinghamshire, closing in on the 2 leaders. It's Tom O'Rourke struggling. He's going very slowly there in the International. Here they come down the Bentley Straight then. 3.5 minutes just over of this race still to go, so there'll be a couple more laps for Stephen Powell to try and hang on in front. When did we last see the number 3 take a win? It was back on season opening weekend at Easter at Brands Hatch. He had a couple of Division 1 wins, although one wasn't an overall because Paul Rivette got an overall win in race 4, the Division 2 driver. First time in many years that a Division 2 truck had beaten all the Division 1s. But Paul Rivette sadly out of the weekend with engine damage. Ryan Smith having a go now at Michael Oliver for 2nd place. 3 minutes to go. Can Stephen Powell hang on? Now, he's got to hope here that Michael Oliver gets preoccupied defending from Ryan Smith for 2nd place, and then Stephen can make his escape, which he's trying to do now. Coming up over the line. Looks like a penalty, yep. 15 seconds for exceeding track limits for John Bowler. So he's going to get a 15-second penalty. So your 3rd offence is 5 seconds, the 4th is 10 seconds. So repeated transgressions by John. And he's going to pick up a 15-second penalty as Ryan Smith goes to the inside on the Wilson's hairpin. He's going to go through into 2nd place. He's done it. Ryan Smith up to P2 from the back of the grid. Now, can he catch Stephen Powell? I don't think it'll take him long. Let's have a look at the lap times. Yeah, his last lap was about 1.5 seconds quicker than Stephen Powell. Up towards Agostini. You can see the gap coming down. It's not a question of if Ryan Smith is going to attack and try and take the lead, but when and where. He's within less than a truck length already. I reckon he'll get him on the Bentley Straight. 90 seconds of the race to go. Stephen Powell's lead under threat. He may not even wait for the Bentley Straight. He might have a look on the inside at Williams, Ryan Smith. Into the straight they come. Didn't quite get close enough at Williams' corner. Now down the Bentley Straight, and Ryan Smith already moving to the inside. Powell moves across. So Smith will move back to the outside. He's going to try and outfox the man from Kent. Side by side, Powell moves to defend. Keeps the lead in the Alco and Dines Recovery sponsored MAN. Through the bomb hole, up towards Coram. Smith a little bit sideways there onto the curb. Only 1 lap to go this time, I would think. 5-second penalty for David Smith for exceeding track limits, and John Bowler's penalty has increased. He's now got a drive-through penalty. I imagine that will be added on after the race if he doesn't get notification in time to take it during the race. There's quite a few penalties for both John Bowler and David Smith, but here comes Ryan Smith up against the pit wall. Down the straight, he's going to go for the inside, surely into Riches. No, you don't, says Stephen Powell. And Powell continues to defend his lead for all he's worth. Pick up on penalties later on, because it's all about this lead battle, with Ryan Smith throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Stephen Powell here for the lead. They're on the last lap now, the clock is at 0. MAN against Daimler Freightliner, Kent against Nottinghamshire. Can Flying Ryan come through? The first 2 races at Donington, he went from last to second behind David Jenkins each time. He came through from the back to win in race 3 after no score yesterday. But is he going to have to settle for second this time? Michael Oliver looking on in third. They're way ahead of the rest, nearly 15 seconds clear of Stuart Oliver, who's 4th. Neil Yates still in P5, 6th is David Jenkins. Through Hamilton, still Stephen Powell soaking up the pressure from the 8-time British champion. Will it be 9 this year for Flying Ryan? Cuts to the inside on the run out of Williams. He's got the inside line this time. He's going through. He's done it. Well, he said a lap ago he might get him coming out of Williams. He's left it a lap later, but he's done it. Ryan Smith to the lead. And now down the straight, he'll get his foot down and try and pull away to prevent any retaliation from Stephen Powell, who's staying with him. Down towards Brundle. Smith takes the line. I think Stephen Powell's hope now is going to be to try and get alongside and do what Michael Oliver did to him in race 1 yesterday, try and get him into Murray's. But he may not be close enough because the Daimler Freightliner, its engine replaced overnight. This is for the worldwide truck racing team who worked until 4 AM. And Ryan Smith has rewarded them amply, hasn't he? He won the 3rd race at a canter. Or is he going to win this? I think he's got a penalty as well. Just coming up on the timing screen. We'll confirm in a second. They're coming up towards the line. The checkered flag is in sight. Ryan Smith takes the checkered flag, but he's got a track limits penalty as well. It just came up as they came through the last corner. Ryan Smith takes the checkered flag, but he has got a penalty. He's got a track limits penalty, so Stephen Powell will be the winner. There have been penalty boards everywhere in the last few laps. David Smith and John Bowler have got 15 seconds of penalties. I saw drive-through penalty come up for John Bowler as well. So the win goes to Stephen Powell, number 3. We can confirm that. Ahead of Michael Oliver, Ryan Smith drops to 3rd place. Well, bit confusing there with penalties flying around there in the closing stages for exceeding track limits. Division 2, meanwhile, has been won by John Powell. He comes over in provisionally in 8th place, because I think John Bowler has pulled into the pits on the last lap there. A bit of confusing in there. So John Powell has won Division 2. Second for Simon Cole in Division 2, and here comes Archie Handy, the number 40 in the Volvo, to finish 3rd in Division 2, sliding it through the final corner. That'll please the crowd. Yep, gets a round of applause for that. Okay, we'll try and bring you the provisional result then. Stephen Powell has won it because of that penalty for Ryan Smith, ahead of Michael Oliver by 2.3 seconds. And Ryan Smith got a 15-second penalty. So he had 2 offences there that were time penalties, 5 plus 10 for track limits. He goes down to 3rd. Stuart Oliver 4th, ahead of Neil Yates, then David Jenkins, David Smith 7th. David Smith got penalties as well. John Powell 8th, he wins Division 2. John Bowler is classified 9th with his penalties. Then Cole, Handy and Tom O'Rourke, who rejoined out of the pits after an early problem, completes the 12 finishers. So, a little bit of a confusing end there. Stephen Powell does pick up his first win since Easter weekend at Brands Hatch. We can head down into Parc Fermé.
Right then, my goodness, what a finish. I mean, sterling race from Ryan Smith, but with points, with time penalties given, Steve Powell taking the first place trophy. Steve, come over here. You've got to be happy with that result.
Yeah, really happy. A little bit disappointed, to be fair, because we had the pace on Ryan and I missed the gear coming out the sharp right before the back straight, so we got up the inside. And yeah, a little bit disappointed because I know he's got a different engine and usually he was going to get me anyway.
But then track limits for Ryan Smith as well has put him back quite far now.
Yeah, well,
there's 2 lots of 10 seconds.
Yeah, apparently so. It was really funny because I lost the gear, he got in front, a bit frustrated. As soon as I come down the back straight, my boy said we had a 5-second penalty, he said stay close, so I did, and then it went 10-20, but a little bit disappointed, but no, I'm over the moon.
I was going to say, he's a little bit disappointed, but he's over the moon with first place. I mean, what do you want? What do you want?
It's not disappointing missing the gear, my error.
Right.
That's the simple thing, and I think with the different engine he's got in him at the minute, I think we could have stayed in front, if I'm honest with you.
But you know what? Clean race, everyone.
Exactly that, yeah. It was nice to get out of the front and get out of the way of all the carnage, to be honest with you. So, I had a good race with Michael. 1-all. That's 1-all, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe you're now second, I think, if the time penalties are right. I've not looked at my phone, that's 30 seconds. You've got second.
Steve's had 5.
Steve's had 5, so we got back up again. I need to take this moment as well, just to correct the slate, that you actually got a 3rd place in the last race as well.
So that's coming, I've had a 1st.
Yeah.
A 2nd,
yeah,
and a 3rd.
Oh, full that. Oh, look at that. A full set now. You literally don't even have to bother racing next race.
I haven't got enough heads. I haven't got enough heads
Not
for
enough
the hat.
heads. You're going to have 2 bigger heads for the hat soon.
Oh, God, yeah.
Unbelievable. Very good. Right, so does that mean that who was in 4th? So that was Stuart Oliver in 4th, I believe, that would have now moved up to 3rd place, depending on the gap. So, yeah, so let's go and see if we can't find... I mean, it's one of those weekends, ladies and gentlemen, but nonetheless, I mean, Ryan, you know, first of all, sorry about the time penalties. These things happen.
Michael and Steve did a good job, but
yeah,
the inconsistency. I've got to be careful what I say.
Yes, be careful. Yeah, let's just look into it.
The inconsistency of Arnie come over the radio, said you've had 1 track limit warning. Nah. I don't mean to be big-headed.
Oh, no.
I don't need to touch track limits.
Well, no, indeed.
And I haven't touched track limits.
Well, there was a time for contesting those in the last race. Well, I literally just said to the guys at home, like, you know, we had about 3 different versions of the last race results. So, you know, obviously there's time to sort that out and have a look into it.
Because we're here to put a spectacle on. Right,
which you definitely did.
If everyone's being treated the same, yes, I understand it. We've not touched anybody all weekend, probably because we haven't had an engine.
Well, you had two.
Bodywork's just gone. Somebody's bodywork's just gone through my windscreen. But no, I'm not taking anything away from Steve or Michael. Our way they drove. But I think at one point we were 7 seconds behind them.
Yeah,
and I could have sat in 3rd, minding my own business, and just drove it home. People pay a lot of money to come.
Well, I would say we enjoyed to see the push.
A lot of people come and pay a lot of money to watch racing, and I owe it to them to put a good spectacle on. And when you do, and you close up to front 2, and you pass both at front 2, mysteriously get a 20.
Oh no! Well, I'll leave it with you. I'll leave it with you. All right, yeah, better leave it with you. Right, let's go and find out who is currently in 3rd position. Currently in 3rd place, until, you know, for a bit. So, yeah, how do you feel to be 3rd place for a bit?
For a bit.
For a bit, wow.
Oh, of course, I never thought I Mr. Objection and Complainter. And,
Yeah, but you don't know. I mean, so we've ended up with Steve, then Michael, then you. So Ryan ended up with track limit penalties, so he's behind you effectively. So well done.
Thank you very much. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I know. Well, obviously the race before was a total.
Yeah.
Not disaster, but
it was a bump. Yeah. But we're okay.
We're okay. We're all good.
Back
we're
out.
Good, that's right. Yeah.
Possible trophy. Possible.
Possible.
For now.
Everything's possible.
For now.
So we'll see what happens, and fingers crossed we'll have some more. I could do with another trophy.
Okay, very good, very good. Right, let's just quickly speak then to someone over here in Div 2. Simon Cole. Simon, how's it felt starting to join us up on the podium now? It's a certain nice improvement to the way we do things, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a better format. That is surprised nobody thought of that earlier in the season.
Yeah, weird. I just kind of went with it, to be honest. But yeah, fair play. I've got to give Gordon Snell, Championship Manager, a shout out. I believe it was his brainchild, so all credit to him really. And yeah, it feels better, looks better. I think the spectators enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's there. So yeah, it's a good plus to what we've been doing. Yeah.
It really gives you that kind of gratification of being up there, doesn't it? Especially for young Archie. How do you think he's getting on, having that experience of being up there?
Yeah, and he's improving. I can see him on rear view mirror, my cameras. He's great off the start already. He just needs the equipment now to go to work with. I think he'd be a force to be reckoned with over the years.
So when's he having your truck then, Simon?
Oh, he's going to bypass this and go.
Go something better.
Yeah, he's going to bypass this and go to something better, I would have thought.
That's what we like to investment in the future. Right, Si, thank you very much. Well, let's, just in case, because you don't really get to see these things up close very often, let's have a quick walk around, shall we? So let's have a look at the difference between a 26... 8, the old one's the 8, the 26 is the newer one. So confusing. I don't know, it's German, so it makes more sense to them probably. But there we go. So this is the D28. Yeah, you've got the lovely chrome rocker covers there, huge turbo. I only deal with toilet pipes 4 inches wide, but they have exhausts and boost pipes that are of that diameter, which is just massive. I mean, you can see what you can fit down a 4-inch toilet pipe. So God knows how much air you can get into an engine with one of those bad boys.